knee brace for the Valley. We've got Bill Littleton on the line. Bill Littleton is the coach of the McAllen Memorial Mustangs, and he's the big winner of this weekend. Coach, how's it feel? You are continuing the undefeated streak.
Well, it's always good. You get a victory. We're real proud of the way our kids played last night. It was a good football game. It's nice to be 8-0. We're real pleased where we are right now at this point of the season.
Now, last night's game was a rivalry game. You guys had a little bit of fuel to the fire with some comments that were made last week as far as best running back in the Valley. But you guys came out. It was a really good game. It was well played. It wasn't chippy or anything like that. You guys, both teams, played really well.
Well, our rivalry with McAllen always been a real clean rivalry. We always enjoy that game. I think the kids enjoy it. It's a good game. It's a game that both teams enjoy playing, both coach and staff. McAllen was well prepared last night. Their kids played really hard last night. They gave us a good contest for a while there.
Yeah, and you guys, in the first half, it was something that we hadn't seen this year were the turnovers. You have 4 turnovers, fumbles in the first half. I mean, what did you guys do at halftime? How did you address that?
Well, we were a little bit, I think our kids were a little probably too much emotional charge, and maybe our coaches were too. And we had to settle down a little bit, coaching staff and the players, and get back to what we do. We hadn't had 4 turnovers all year long. I don't think. I think up to that point we've had 2 turnovers all season. We had 4 in the first half last night, but it's kind of a good thing too. Our kids fought through it. We needed a little adversity. We showed that we could come back and handle that situation, and so it was a good time to have that kind of stuff before we get to the playoffs, and it was good for us.
Yeah, and I thought you guys played well. I mean, after the 4 turnovers, you guys kind of just turned on the afterburners, and even when they scored, you would put 2 back up on them.
Well, our kids responded every time. Like I said, they responded for a while there and went back and forth, but our kids responded. We've been pretty much a second-half football team all season long, and our kids have come out after halftime all year and really done a good job playing the second half. And we continued that streak last night of playing good football in the second half.
Now, last night, if you were at the game, you would have saw Trevor Speights playing the safety spot. Was that because of McAllen's speed? You wanted to have somebody in the backfield that could match that speed in a little bit of a pursuit?
Well, we felt like he was our best chance to maybe take away some big plays that they might get. But, when you get to this point of the season, you start getting ready to, you're looking ahead. Sometimes you got to get a little more speed on the field, and you got to state some of your players and make them two-way players to make a run like we want to run, like we want to make.
Is that something we're going to see in the playoffs? Because, you're going to go up against some teams with some incredible speed.
Well, we probably will. It depends on what people do and what what's going on. Every game plan's different. Every team's different. So it's hard to predict that right now, but it's something that could be there in the future.
Now, he's not your only running option, and everybody seems to always kind of throw him out there as, he's the guy getting all the touches. But it's not really the case. You guys have, you've got a bunch of guys touching the ball. Yeah,
our skill positions on offense is, all of our kids are doing a great job. Our fullback, Emilio Mendez, having a good year. He had about 75 yards last night. He's playing well, and little Eric Guerrero is doing a good job, and our quarterback Jonathan doing a good job running the football and throwing the ball, and we got another weapon there with DJ Johnson out, the wide receiver, and we got JoJo Williams who gotten eligible over the last 2 or 3 weeks. He moved off on us and he moved back, and he had to sit out for a while, and he got back, and he's going to help us, and so we got some weapons there.
Bill Littleton of the McAllen Memorial Mustangs joining us on the Huddle. Kevin's got a question for you, Coach.
Hey, Coach, how are you this morning?
Good. How are you, sir?
Hey, good. Matt, just tell me how special it is to have, what I kind of told Jake earlier in the week is the triplets, with Sanchez, who's 6'7", DJ Johnson is 6'5", and then you got Trevor Speights. So, like Jake said, everybody's talking about, Speights and what he can do on the ground, but oh wait, you have a big weapon in DJ Johnson. So what's that like for you all?
Well, it's good. You got to be a little multiple, and everything run through. Everybody knows it. We're not telling anybody anything they don't know. Everything run through Trevor, but when you go to Ken too much on Trevor, it opens up other avenues for us. And DJ's always a threat there. And, he doesn't get a whole lot of balls thrown to him, but when he does, you just make people pay for it.
Now, Coach, this team, and I asked you earlier in the year, you guys you didn't have that schedule that you had when Bradley Stevens was a senior. When you guys went up to the Alamo Dome and you played that first game, I think it was against Victoria Memorial.
Yes, sir.
And, you guys haven't had that marquee game minus maybe San Benito, as far as that tough, gritty game. Is this team more prepared or, is it, I guess, are they more healthy than they were, when Bradley was there?
Well, right now we're pretty healthy. We knock on wood. Our kids, we have stayed pretty healthy all year long. And, every team's different. Every year is different. And, this team got capability of making a good run, we feel like. But, you never know. You got to play one game at a time, and you can't look ahead. We got a big ball game coming up Thursday with Palmview. That'll probably be for the district championship. So you can't look ahead. You got to play every game one game at a time.
So what you're saying is that Palmview is that the game you've circled right now?
Well, it's the next game we have on our schedule, and those guys hadn't lost but one district ball game, so they're a pretty good outfit. So we got to get ready to play them, and it's a quick turnaround on Thursday. So we'll see.
Yeah, and they're going through some tough stuff over there right now.
Right.
We've sent our condolences out that way. But how difficult is it to be the head coach of a team when you had Bradley before? You've had guys that have been recruited, and now Trevor. How hard is it to be that guy? Because I got to imagine you're fielding questions left and right from either colleges or guys like us who are always bothering you. How hard is it for you to kind of stay on task because you've got to handle everything plus the other programs?
Well, I don't think it's all that tough. You always want, you want your program to get, recognized, and it's good for our community. It's good for the Memorial family, to have those people coming in, looking at kids, and, and they see other kids. We had a recruiter in here from Minnesota last night. The first thing he did, he went to ask about 2-3 other kids once he got, on the field and saw kids. He said, Coach, you got some other kids that, we want to talk about also. So it's always good to have those kids looked at, and it makes a special season, and it's always good to, we like our kids and our program to be recognized.
Yeah, and you've got some great talent. Sanchez is something else. Minus the fumbles last night, he really controlled the offense last night.
Yeah, our quarterback, we do a lot of calls at the line of scrimmage. They do a lot of checking at the line of scrimmage. Really, when we are able to, the quarterback's able to check at the line of scrimmage, that's years that we've made some deep runs. And right now, Jonathan's doing a good job checking there at the line. And like you said, we had too many turnovers last night, something we got to go back to work on. We're not going to harp on it, but we're going to get back to a little fundamental. The ball security last night wasn't real good by some of our young men, and we got to work on that this week, try to get that taken care of. We had 2 critical penalties on third down and fourth down last night that kept drives alive for McAllen. Those kind of things you can't have to be that team that we want to be. So we got to get to work on that and get that corrected.
Now, if you look at it, every season or every time you've had a marquee senior, Matt Kaufman, Bradley Stevens, when they become seniors, you guys have always made a run. You've gone 3 rounds deep, and I've told people that. I've told, by the time they're seniors, your teams have usually matured to the point that you're ready for the playoffs. And is this team just like that?
Well, I think we got a chance to be. Like I say, every year and every season, every game, our motto this year is remember the feeling, and remember the feeling is all about what we didn't get done last year. We felt like we didn't, we kind of didn't finish the season like we wanted to against Darrell last year. We didn't play real well in that ball game. And, those kind of things can happen. Hopefully they won't, but you got to play every game, one game at a time, and hopefully this team will make the run. And we're still looking for that team to be. Our motto every year when we start the season is we're going to be the best team Memorial ever had, and that's what this team's trying to do, be the best team in the history of Memorial High School, wherever that takes us.
So would that put you at the best coach Memorial's ever had? Because
I don't know about all that. There's a lot of people arguing about that probably.
Well, Coach, good luck next week against Palmview. We appreciate everything. This is Bill Littleton from McAllen Memorial. Thank you so much for joining us on the show. And sorry Tony wasn't here and you had to put up with us.
Well, that's not a problem. We appreciate it. And thanks for having us on. Always special to get the opportunity to be on y'all's show.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
So let me guess, Jake, he's a great guy?
No, this is the and Henry. This is the guy that let us in the door. He was the first guy to give us. We had a VIP pass for the game, the Victoria Memorial, when he had the first Trevor Speights, Bradley Stevens, and he got us in the door. I started with like 5,000 hits a month, and I started covering stuff. It was 30,000, and it was 200,000 views a month. It was because of him and about 4 other coaches that let us in the door. And it was just me at the time. So I owe pretty much everything to Bill Littleton and a few other coaches, Coach Vela and some other guys. But we've got a hard break right now we got to take. You're listening to The Huddle on Fox Sports 1700, powered by McDonald's and State Farm Insurance with Christina Sala. Excuse me. Christina Sala, State Farm Insurance. I'm stuttering here. We'll be right back.